All right, welcome back. Today we're going to talk a little bit about something that has been in the works for a minute. It's my Lightning Strike Trickster build, which is finally done, right? Like it has been quite a journey to get the build done. That has been the last part that I was really missing, and it was just not wanting to like basically get crafted right. Like it took I've spent like 70 some divine crafting it now, and it's still not perfect. It's missing a stat right now, so that's a little sad. It turned 4 stats instead of 5 stats, but it is what it is. It kept the most important stats, so that's what mattered. But yeah, let's take a quick look at the gear. So first and foremost, we got the crystal belt, right, and it's influenced by the Crusader to get percent maximum ES, and then on top of that, I qualityed it with the defense catalyst in order to get even more max ES out of it. So yeah, that is a really good source, and that is one of the reasons why we're sitting at 16k right now. Then we have the gloves, which is also just ES stacking with some increased attack speed and a bit of intelligence, as well as a little bit of resistance. So super nice. The whole build is built around this unique, basically. So ephemeral edge is where I get a lot of my damage from. As you'll see, the bottom 2 lines says attacks with this weapon adds maximum lightning damage equal to 20% of player's maximum energy shield, and since we have 16,000 energy shield, it basically gives me 20% of that as max lightning damage, so very potent. Then we are using Charons for even more ES. So this basically gives us 250 raw ES, and it also does prevent us from recharging ES, but it doesn't really matter because we are based around a leech instead of a recharge or regenerate. This whole build is built around leeching, and instant leeching lightning the ES from Lightning Strike is super easy, so it just doesn't really provide any negatives. It's basically all positive, right? So super nice ring, and it does help out the build a lot. Then we have the armor. Now the armor could be just a little bit better, not a lot better, but a little bit better, right? We could have tier 1 spell suppression on here instead. That would have been nice. It would have made me I would have been able to basically save a point on my tree. If I had that, I could have saved this point right here and then used that somewhere else. But yeah, we are using that one for now until I was thinking about tattooing my tree as well, but we'll see about what I figure out here. But as of right now, it's pretty decent though. Again, ES stacking on every stat basically, and some attributes. 6% is decent. It puts us it's putting us at the exact amount of strength we need, which is 155. So we got a little bit more than that, and then we are getting like a decent amount of dexterity, and of course a whole lot of intelligence. So we're currently sitting at 900. Then we have the helmet, again ES stacking with some intelligence, and then we have a little bit of Koras, and then trigger targeted spell when you focus, and the targeted spells are basically just 3 different curses, so I'll trigger all 3 curses when I'm focused, and they have a bigger AoE, so that's pretty simple. Again, super nice helmet, 555 ES is pretty decent. Then we have the shield here, which has +1 maximum endurance charges, and it also has ES stacking again, and then we have some intelligence and avoid ligaments, and we have some fire resistance. Pretty basic too, well, not basic, but very, very nice, and it fits the whole stacking ES super nice. We're currently using voices for a little bit of lightning damage, and lightning damage with non-critical strike is lucky, so that is super nice. Attributes, of course, super nice. Intelligence, always nice. Then we have Athemas, or Anthema, I think that's how you say it, I'm not sure. Again, ES, intelligence, that's like the main stats besides our 20% chance to gain a power charge, which is super nice. When you cast a curse, and we are casting our curse automatically with the focus, right? So, and we're casting 3 of them, so that is really nice because we have basically room for 4 power charges right now. We are able to cast 3 curses, and we are also able to cast a mark. So we have mark on hit support right here with inspiration and sniper's mark, and enlighten, of course. So that is super potent with this ring, and it functions really, really well. It's just an easy choice, to be honest. Then we have the boots, again, ES stacking, and then some movement speed. Just a little bit of movement speed. This could have been tier 1, but tier 2, I settled for tier 2. I didn't want to spend any more divines crafting, so that's what I settled for. And then we have, of course, some intelligence and a little bit of fire res and some fire cold res. And I have basically crafted everything myself. So the helmet, the armor, the belt, the gloves, the boots, and the shield, all stuff that I have crafted myself this league. Getting into crafting and learning it, it was actually really I was really stoked about it, and I'm really proud about what I've made. Everything has been really spot on, and then of course we are rocking a couple of bottles as well. We got some resistance, some more fire res, movement speed, and a little bit of armor. I probably should change these out. I haven't changed them out in forever. They've been here pretty much since I started leveling the build, and it's currently level 100. So yeah, these probably I need an upgrade here. Well, the movement speed one I'll keep, but I think I need an upgrade for the rest of them. Kind of need to figure out what I want exactly. And then we have our tincture, which is just the craziest thing I have on the build at this moment, or at least one of them. So this was like around 200 of when I found it, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one. It is sadly tier 2s. It could have been tier 1s, and that would have been even better, but I will make do with tier 2s for now. Still pretty decent amount of damage boost when you are using your veil skill. So yeah, it's just overall a really incredibly good build. We got a couple of things in here, so I am using the thread of hope to be able to take these 2 notes over here and this note down here. Like 3 notes over here it is. So that's one thing to kind of like note. You kind of want that one. And then there's just basically like cluster jewels with some decent notables on, and you want, of course, again, maximum ES. These could be a lot better. I would prefer to have maximum ES and raw ES and intelligence and lightning damage or something like that. That would be nice. Again, cluster jewel, decent notables, some more ES, and the same story up top here. Got another one with some decent ones on. Some ES and lightning damage and a little bit of different things here. So overall, I think this build is really good. This is probably one of the better builds I've played so far. It's super tanky. It's incredibly good at doing maps. It's really good at doing bosses too. What you want to do for bosses is kind of swap out of your lightning strike and into molten strike of the zenith instead. But yeah, like swap out that skill and you're basically almost good to go. It's just a really good all around build, and I definitely understand why Ben and Young and these guys were playing this in the gauntlet. So that was my main reasoning behind making this. Was I saw them play it in the gauntlet, and I kind of wanted to see how good and how strong it actually was, and what it felt like when you were playing it. And I must admit, it feels really, really well. It's the yeah, it's just overall powerful, super good build. It's fairly achievable too. You don't need to have gear that's this good or anything. It's definitely doable with less than this. I was rocking at 12k ES and it was doing really well at that, like at that point. So yeah, I'm definitely happy with this. It's probably the top two build, like among the top two builds in my opinion. I think the Ice Nova edges it out just a little bit once it's fully decked out. But besides that, it's so good. The Ice Nova has a little bit more speed to it, I feel like. But overall, like the tankiness is pretty much the same. The damage outputs are pretty much the same. The clear speed are pretty much the same. So really, really good build. Functions incredibly well. Looks pretty cool too. You could go. I was using Dying Sun for a while there. You could do that too if you wanted to. But honestly, this one is way more damage in the end, so I would lose the two projectiles to be using this one for sure. But yeah, I'll leave a link in the description to how you could level this using Young's Power Siphon rune, Locust rune setup. It's a really easy way to level him up. Get him from early games to end game, basically to end of red maps pretty much, and then from red maps you can swap into the lightning strike, and I'll also leave a link for that in the description. I'll also leave a link for my PO for the PoE Ninja, so you can check this build out if you want to look at my gear and stuff. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I just wanted to touch on how well this performs and say that this is definitely worth trying out if you haven't tried it. And yeah, catch you all in the next one.